dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning to you. I'm Mitchell Grog.
And I'm Callie Rainey, and today is Tuesday, March 1st.
Let's check in with meteorologist Chris Johnson for a look at your forecast this morning.
Well, it's going to be an active day, especially later on this afternoon. A few strong, possibly severe thunderstorms will accompany a line that moves through ahead of a cold front later on today. Around mid-afternoon or so, mid to late afternoon seems to be the timing. And the threat will be some heavy rainfall and gusty to damaging winds. So let's get you over to iPinpoint Doppler. We're nice and calm as we kick off this Tuesday morning right now. It's pretty cold outside as well. You definitely need that winter coat as you head out the door this morning. But the Storm Prediction Center does have portions of eastern Kentucky under a slight risk for some strong, possibly a few severe thunderstorms. And as I had said, heavy rainfall and gusty to damaging winds will be the main threats as we head through this event. Now, the latest satellite and radar imagery as we loop over the past 6 hours showing those clear skies continuing here across central and eastern Kentucky, but notice back towards the north and west. Got a lot of snow moving across the Great Lakes region, and then some showers stretching through Illinois into Missouri, heading towards Arkansas, and some showers and storms will continue to push towards the east as we head throughout this morning into the afternoon hours, and that's eventually going to make its way here across eastern Kentucky. Temperatures in the upper 30s in some spots, lower 30s to our south and east. Of course, we have a good ridge valley split going on this morning with temperatures, and notice the warmer spots there and the higher terrain, of course, in Jackson, Paintsville. We're talking low to mid 40s, upper 40s right now over in Wise, Virginia. Regardless, still a cold start for many here across the viewing area. Temperatures do warm up quite nicely. Spring-like afternoon ahead. Temperatures in the low, even mid 60s for afternoon highs, and then showers and some of the storms will arrive by mid to late afternoon, and that'll eventually clear out later on tonight, and could see the chance for a few snowflakes on the back edge of this. So I'm going to break it all down for you and talk a little bit more about the storm impacts coming up, though, in just a few minutes.
Chris, thanks. Well, a piece of history goes up in flames. One of the oldest buildings in Louisa caught fire this past weekend.
Firefighters tell WYMT's Alex Kasper-Peak the fire started inside the home despite it being abandoned for decades.
Regardless of what you call it, the Stewart, Mayo, or Cushing home, a century's worth of memories went up in flames Sunday.
The house next to it used to be a tennis court that they played dirt tennis on. And
many remember former owner Martha Mayo Stewart. They say although she did not live there, she drove to Louisa to sweep the porch every day until she died. One local blogger says the home used to be a hospital for Union soldiers during the Civil War and also held prisoners. But during the past few years, they say the home started to show its age.
it just had to be either fixed up with a lot of money or torn down. And it's sad to see something go, a lot of history.
Officials say a couch caught fire on the inside of the home. Flames quickly spread to the rest of the house. Some were not surprised.
I think pretty much everybody in town's been expecting to go up for years now because it's been the hangout for people. And
others will miss its glimmer of the past.
People would go through the gate just to get a look at it. People would always come by to go and just look at it. But no one that I would see bothered it. They just were amazed by how old and beautiful it was.
That gave the city a taste of history. In Lawrence County, Alex Kasper-Peak, WYMT Mountain News.
The assistant fire chief says they are in contact with police to launch an arson investigation.
One couple in Harlan County found themselves in trouble that landed them in jail. Police say they found Brittany Pennington and Jonathan Howard, both 24 years old, were having sex in their car at the Hardee's in Harlan yesterday. They say Pennington had just been released from the Harlan County Detention Center Monday morning and was back in an hour. We are told the couple admitted they made a mistake.
It was a pretty awkward situation. Luckily, when I got there, they were actually getting out of the vehicle, so I pretty much just told them I'd got several complaints on them that they've been having sexual intercourse in the vehicle right in the middle of the day. It was in the morning during rush hour at a very busy restaurant. Unfortunately, there was several people around, tons of cars, kids, couples, so, today they went to jail.
They both declined a request for an interview. Well, for the presidential candidates, this is the biggest week of the campaign so far. Today, delegates in 12 states are up for grabs on Super Tuesday.
And Saturday, Kentucky Republicans will hold their caucus. As Hillary Thornton shows us yesterday, Republican candidate Ben Carson held a town hall meeting in Lexington.
Most Americans have values. They have common sense. But they're frightened. They're frightened about the future. They're frightened about the direction of our country.
Dr. Ben Carson speaking to an estimated crowd of about 1,000 supporters, talking about a variety of topics, including criticism of his calm demeanor.
I had a horrible temper. It used to get me in trouble a lot. So when you see my calm demeanor, that's a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness.
Even though down in delegates and in the latest polls, Carson says he has great momentum going into what is a huge week for candidates, expressed when asked what was needed to turn his campaign around.
I bet Wednesday morning you will not ask that same question. You just have to be persistent.
Dr. Ben Carson sharing a specific message for Kentucky voters, asking them to get out and exercise their right on Saturday and to not give up on him just yet.
Make sure you exercise your civic duty, get out there, but do it in a responsible way. Make sure you know what you're talking about.
Knowledge about issues and policies Carson spoke about at Monday's event, including Kentucky coal.
You know, the Environmental Protection Agency, in my opinion, should be reoriented. Instead of somebody with their boot on everybody's neck, they should be working with business, industry, academia, and the ag business to find the cleanest, most environmentally friendly ways to exploit our tremendous resources, including coal.
Hillary Thornton, WYMT Mountain News.
3 other Republican candidates are planning to visit Kentucky this week. Donald Trump will hold a rally this afternoon at the Kentucky International Convention Center in Louisville. Marco Rubio is set to be in Lexington Friday morning for an event beginning at 10:15. A venue has not been announced yet. Ted Cruz's campaign reports he will be in Kentucky sometime this week, though nothing is scheduled or announced yet.
Why one federal regulator says recalling Takata airbags will not make vehicles safer. Plus, how Subway plans to make sure its foot-long subs are, well, a foot long. I'm Hannah Daniels in New York. I'll have those stories and much more coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Still to come in sports, regional tournaments getting underway tonight across the coverage area. A big first-round matchup in the 13th region between Corbin and North Laurel.
Despite the cold start to the day, a mild afternoon takes over along with the threat for a few strong, even severe thunderstorms. I'll talk timing, impacts, and what to expect next.
Well, there's a possibility for some severe storms later on. So, Chris, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we have a cold front that's tracking through central and eastern Kentucky later on this afternoon. Mid to late afternoon seems to be a good timing for this. And then some heavy rainfall, gusty to damaging winds will be the main threats. But something to stay weather aware about over the next 12 hours or so. So let's go ahead and get to the forecast. We do have a lot to talk about this morning, but we are nice and dry and cold as we kick off this Tuesday morning. Live pinpoint Doppler scanning the skies here. And we had a clear night. It allowed temperatures to drop off quite a bit, especially in some areas. But we do have that slight risk out. And this is from the Storm Prediction Center for much of central and south central parts of the state, including western Kentucky as well, stretching into Bowling Green and then towards the Volunteer State down into Middle Tennessee. But notice this is catching some of our western counties here along the I-75 corridor, stretching towards Moorhead. And some of these areas to our west likely to see maybe a strong, possibly a severe thunderstorm. It's those areas to the west that have the better chance, say, as for eastern Kentucky. As the deeper you get into eastern Kentucky, maybe not the best chance, but still the possibility is there. Temperatures, as I was saying, pretty cold in some spots. We're talking low to mid 30s in some areas, especially across southeastern Kentucky. But notice to our north there, lower 40s in Moorhead, mid 40s in Jackson, and 42 degrees over in Paintsville. As you're getting the kids ready for the bus stop this morning, though, extra layers, the winter coat, that will be ideal. Temperatures around 35 degrees, give or take a few degrees on that. But as we head into this afternoon, forget the winter coats. We're talking a t-shirt kind of afternoon, highs soaring into the low, even mid 60s. And notice some sunshine sticks around early on, then clouds begin to increase, 55 by lunchtime, 61 by 2 p.m. Then we're talking into the mid 60s possibly for highs. But notice the warmer air come at the expense of some showers, even a few thunderstorms. The latest satellite and radar imagery showing you a regional shot here. Notice the clear skies ongoing across central and eastern Kentucky. But back towards the north and west, it's a different story. Some heavy snow working across the Great Lakes region. We have this low pressure system just west of Chicago along with the cold front that's attendant with that low pressure system. And that's moving through portions of Missouri heading into Arkansas. Notice the showers and storms beginning to blossom up here to our west. That's going to be the case later on this morning and into early afternoon before that line eventually tracks into eastern Kentucky by mid-afternoon or so. So here's a look at future view. We timed this out for you. We start you off at 9 o'clock this morning. Notice plenty of sunshine to kick off this morning. Clouds will begin to increase by early afternoon, and then mid-afternoon, notice some of these showers with embedded thunderstorms begin to track across central and south central Kentucky, those areas along the I-75 corridor. Now this line will continue to push into eastern Kentucky for your commute home. Now the good news is, as we do head into the evening and overnight hours, this is a quick hitting system. This cold front's going to move pretty fast, and as it does so, that's going to allow us to dry things out as we head into early Wednesday morning. But notice a few specks of blue showing up on future view. Well, a few flakes will certainly be possible as that colder air begins to transition in from the north and west, and we're going to feel it early tomorrow morning. Lows dropping back into the upper 20s and then lower 30s. And then notice once we get rid of the cloud cover, catch a bit of a break, more cloud cover moves in. And then our next system slides in from the north and west. Now, as far as future view gusts are concerned, anywhere between 35 to 40, 45 miles per hour for a wind gust, especially this afternoon from about 3 to 6 o'clock. And notice what future view is doing here. Lower 40s for some forecast gusts in London, Harlan, even in Hazard. So something to keep in mind as we head throughout this afternoon, this evening. The good news is winds begin to die down later on tonight and into early tomorrow morning. 7-day forecast shapes up like this for you. Notice the temperature drops 60s into the upper 30s by Wednesday. And then a chance for a few snowflakes early on. Nothing major with that. We'll dry things out on a Wednesday afternoon. And then we could be talking some more rain, even snow chances into Thursday and Friday. But the good news is we do dry things out for the latter part of the weekend and into early next week with temperatures rebounding into the lower 60s. Let's get a check of the refrigerator art this morning, see what we have behind the magnets. Love showcasing all the wonderful artwork from the kids here across eastern Kentucky. A nice photo center from Brooke over at Central Elementary.
Looking good there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to today's Facebook fan of the day.
Our hand-picked fan this morning is Melinda Kraft from Wayland. Congrats, Melinda.
You can register to become our Facebook fan of the day by visiting the WYMT Facebook page and then clicking on the fan of the day link at the top of the page. You can also find more info there on some of the perks of signing up.
This is WYMT Mountain Sports, your home for the Kentucky Wildcats and local high school sports.
Good morning to you. First night of regional tournaments last night, Leap Night. But just because it was still February, the girls were balling like it was March Madness already. Let's start in the 13th region. Corbin taking on number 6, North Laurel in round 1, Kayla Bruner. That's the eyes of a lethal weapon. Trust me, you'll see in this highlight pack. First quarter, Bruner. No. Yes. The putback plus the foul later. Bruner in transition. That's like the layup line. Wasn't just Bruner, though, for North. They came out on fire from everywhere. Hannah Lawson. And then Lawson, the kick out to Madison Shepard. Corner, pocket, triple, rocking it from downtown. She had 11. Corbin stops the bleeding with this inbounds play here. Morgan Philpott, the pump fake, the bank, plus the foul. But the Lady Hounds down 20-8 going into the second quarter. Go to the second quarter. Give me more Bruner. How's your three-point game? Real strong. How about that fadeaway game? Again, Bruner, top of the key. Man, the senior, she was firing and killing it. She went for 30. North Laurel advances to the 13th region semifinals, 73-50. Who would they face? Brooklyn Massengill, Jordan Brock, Derek Cacao, the Harlan Lady Dragons taking on Knox Central in the first round of the 13th region tournament. First quarter, Brock over to Massengill. How about a 3-ball? She led all scores with 18, but the Lady Panthers came to ball. Tony McCombs. And then later, Maddie Pennington. Floater bankage. All right, less than 30 seconds to go in the quarter now. Cassie Hale. That's a splash ball. And then on the other end, Brock loses the ball. Hale picks it up, and no one picks up Hale. That's major key. Give it to her. We're all tied up at 15 at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, Emma Bianchi says, I've had enough of this. I'll take this 3-ball. She had 16. Number 2, Harlan pulls away in the second half. 57-35. Lady Dragons will play North Laurel in the semifinals on Friday. 14th region first round, a couple of Lady Cats, Breathitt County and Lee County. Early on, Breathitt County taking advantage of its size. Kaylee Noble down low for 2, giving Breathitt the early lead. Nice ball movement here now for Breathitt. Amy Brewer ends up with it on the block. 2 of her game high 22. Lady Cats by 4. More inside game. Casey Cox No. Noble grabs the board, hands it to Amanda Griffith. She got it. Lead still at 4 off the breath of miss now. Hannah Cash, she wears a mouthpiece. She's got game. The pass, and then she gets the pass back. She scores the bucket. Team high 17 for Cash, but Breathitt wins it 64-43. Who will Breathitt face? We'll see a little bit later. Beach theme for the McGoffin County student section. We go to the 15th region tournament. Superman strumming his guitar right there. Lady Hornets meeting up with Pikeville. First quarter, Jazzy Howard. I'll take this, and I'll do this. The Lady Hornets started on a 6-0 run. Later, it's senior Alexis Gearhart. She sinks the jumper. Gearhart with the Lady Panthers' first 4 points, but back comes McGoffin and back comes Jazzy. Real good. McGoffin County advances to the semifinal round of the girls' 15th region tournament, 70-54. Leslie Howard led all scores with 23. Sister Jazzy finished with 22. All right, game 2 from the Expo. Prestonsburg and Lawrence County. Lady Black Cat faithful, ready to pull their team to a win. Loose ball in the court. Somebody go get it. Peaburg snags it. Reese Endicott does that. Off the offensive board now, Lawrence County gets the board. Thanks to Lakin Chapman. Peaburg up 1 though. Lady Bulldogs on offense, but Allison Hall says, get that out of here, please. Peaburg now out in transition off of the block. Tiffany Meadows up and in. Prestonsburg earns the final spot in the top bracket of the 15th region tournament. They beat Lawrence County 66-51. A rematch of last season's first round, Knott Central and Leslie County Lady Eagles. Winner gets Breathitt County, of course. Pick this one up in the 4th. We're tied at 33. Jada Higgins straight to the rack, gives Knott a 2-point lead. Then Higgins one more time. Off the glass, she had 17 on the night. Lady Pats by 3, less than a minute to go now. Emily Griffith in the paint, throws it up and in, giving Leslie County a 1-point lead, 44-43. Time winding down now. Higgins, clutch. Knott trails by 1 with 5 seconds of play. UPike top plate contender, ensuing inbounds pass. Madison Combs up to Griffith. That's your ball game. Leslie County pulls off the win, beating Knott Central 49-45. Griffith leads all scorers with 22. That's a final look at sports this morning. Enjoy your morning.
Why a top federal regulator says recalling Takata airbags will not make vehicles safer, and the results of a settlement with Subway. CBS's Hannah Daniels has more in our CBS Money Watch report.
The stock market ended February on a losing note. The Dow slipped 123 points on the final day of the month, and the Nasdaq gave back 32. A recall of all Takata airbags will not make vehicles safer. That's according to a top federal auto regulator. This comes in response to Florida Senator Bill Nelson, who is urging the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to recall all Takata ammonium nitrate airbags. At least 10 people have died from airbags exploding with too much force. Regulators say recalling all Takata airbags would strain suppliers and create more uncertainty. Microsoft will start shipping its long-awaited HoloLens to developers next month. The $3,000 headset projects holographic images into the wearer's field of view without blacking out the real world. That's around the same time Facebook's Oculus will begin shipping the consumer version of its Rift headset that creates a 360-degree fictional universe. Subway is ensuring its foot-long subs will actually be a foot long. This comes after a class action lawsuit in 2013 when a teenager posted a picture of his sandwich that was only 11 inches long. As part of the settlement, the fast food chain says it will institute measures to make sure its bread will be 12 inches long. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Hannah Daniels.
It is a calm but cold start to our Tuesday morning. That will not be the case this afternoon. Temperatures spring-like out there, along with the chance for some thunderstorm activity this afternoon and into the first part of your evening. Let's take over to live pinpoint Doppler as we scan the skies, and we are nice and quiet here across the viewing area. Now, as we head into this afternoon, the Storm Prediction Center has placed portions of eastern Kentucky under a slight risk. Areas to our east, mainly across the heart of eastern Kentucky, still under that marginal risk for a few strong, possibly severe thunderstorms. So be sure to stay weather aware as we head through the next 12 hours or so. Main threats will be heavy rainfall and gusty to damaging winds. Now, as we head throughout today, temperatures cold early on, and we're back into the mid-50s by lunchtime. We top out in the low to mid-60s, and then notice clouds will continue to increase, and then showers and some of those storms will eventually ramp up by mid to late afternoon here for the viewing area. Let's get a check at the lottery numbers this morning. Don't forget tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $135 million, and tomorrow night's Powerball jackpot is $292 million. The time now is 6:26. You're watching Mountain News this morning right here on WYMT.
Well, imagine if your birthday came once every 4 years. That is a reality for those people with a leap day birthday.
Jordan Lamers introduces us to one leaper who celebrated a milestone birthday yesterday.
Do you want to be 25 or do you want to be 100?
Both. And when asked about the secret to a long life,
I don't know, I guess I was lucky. I can remember telling her once that I hoped she lived to be 100, and she said, no, that'd be too old.
today her daughter was by her side to help blow out the candles on her cake, joking about how unusual a leap year birthday can seem.
She's got great-grandchildren that are older than she is. I think she's only got about 3 or 4 that are younger than her or had fewer birthdays than her.
That's because Iola only celebrated her birthday on February 29th.
Not before or after. I mean, it'd be just on the 29th because I was doing the day, of course.
So she's 100 on the outside, but on the inside,
25.